Is the emotional pain of day trading getting you down? Well, I have a better way. Day trading's exciting. The appeal is understandable. You want to be hands-on. You want the opportunity to make money in the market. However, it's just not practical for you. So you're looking for something else. Well, this may be the only trading strategy that you ever need. Look at this chart. It says it all. The action is overnight. It's the overnight gap, and you've seen it before, and you've always wondered, how can I take advantage of this? Yeah, you've seen it. The market closes at one point, and then by the morning, it either opens up higher or lower than the close the night before. That's the gap. And the reason for that is because the market continues on throughout the night, and there are many different market moving activities such as news, economic reports, weather, war. Many things can move the market in different directions. However, we have developed a signal that kind of correlates to how the market might open the next day. But before we get into that, let's talk about exactly what we're trading. We're trading options, specific options, options of ETFs, exchange traded funds. ETFs usually represent perhaps an industry or a specific market. In this case, SPY represents the S&P 500. In the QQQ, that's the tech stocks. And IWM is the Russell 2000. And the reason why we focus on those ETFs and the options related to them are because they're highly liquid. In other words, you can easily sell them. You can easily buy them with a very narrow bid and ask. The great thing about that is the fact that you won't get stuck in a position that you don't want to be anymore. There's always a buyer. And that's much better than finding yourself in a penny stock that just isn't going anywhere and nobody wants. So we trade these options in a specific ratio that I'll talk about in a few moments, but we trade them overnight. We buy, based on our signal, the options at the very close of the trading day, and then we sell them the next morning. The exact time depends on your skill level and how involved you want to get, but most of us just sell them first thing. But the nice thing about this is that we don't have to deal with what day traders have to deal with, and that's the fact that you're watching the market go up and down every minute. Once you buy your options, you're in for the night. In other words, you can't sabotage your trade with your emotions. And once you're done trading, you can move on with your busy day. So what we're trading is what I refer to as a SPY T trade that has three parts to it. It's an overnight swing trade in which we're taking advantage of the gap and amplifying the opportunity with options. And we use a specific signal, and that signal is found for free over at spytomorrow.com. And then we use a specific ratio of options, 2 to 1. So if our signal says up, we buy 2 calls and 1 put. If our signal says down, we buy 2 puts and 1 call. So if you review that chart that I showed you earlier and you dig a little bit deeper, you'll find that SPY tends to open up about 54% of the time. So the idea is that we need a signal that's right over 55% of the time. It's all about math. Honestly, you could use any signal you want. Perhaps you like the MACD or money flows, perhaps the put-call ratio to give you an idea of what might happen the next morning. Maybe you're very familiar with specific economic news or even earnings and how that might play out. That's something you can depend on once in a while, but day to day, it's nice to have a signal to work with each day at the end of the trading day. And that's what we do with the SPY Tomorrow signal. So when we buy our 2 options, if our signal says up and we buy our 1 put as a hedge, we know that we're protected if the market tanks the next morning. Quite honestly, this allows me to sleep at night. Yes, just like day trading, this is a very aggressive approach to trading the market. And yes, you can lose money. But the nice thing about this setup is it's designed to allow you to maximize your gains and minimize your losses. Less than 10% of day traders actually make money consistently. I think your odds are much better here. It is helpful to understand when to buy your options. However, the great traders, the successful traders understand the more important part is knowing when to sell your options. With a SPY T trade using a 2-to-1 options ratio, even if the indicator said up the night before and the market went down the next morning, you still have an opportunity to minimize your losses or even possibly make some gains. Think about it. The one put going down is making money. And you could sell that when you see the market turning around. And if the market starts to go back up, you can start making money again with those 2 calls. This takes skill and it takes time, but that still gives you the control that you want as you exit your positions. And if your signal is 60, 70, or even 80% correct, well, it makes exiting your position that much easier. And over time, you'll learn to maximize your gains through a similar method. That sounds much better than flipping a coin. The SPY Tomorrow signal simply does one thing well. It measures what we refer to as the pressure at the end of the trading day, which often correlates to how the market might open the next day. So we know overnight that the market's probably going to gap either up or down, but which way? Well, we have a signal that's well over 55% correct. And we use a trading strategy that helps protect us when that signal is wrong. And it's not necessarily wrong. The mood of the market just changed because of news or economic data. There are many reasons why the market mood might change. And sometimes it just changes in our favor, and we're lucky. It doesn't matter. The fact is, within the first half hour of the trading day, our signal is going to be right most of the time. And that gives us an opportunity to make money and compound our portfolio over time. Plus, we're using those liquid options to make it easy to get in and out of our trades. You may have seen other videos that I've created on other SPY T trades, such as the SPY T A, which we're talking about today, SPY T B, C, D, and S. And they're all fine trades. However, many of them really do need a more volatile market to be successful. That's why I recommend for most people the SPY T A trade. Now, if you want to be a little more aggressive, rather than the 2-to-1 option ratio, you can go 3-to-1, and that's the SPY T Q. It's all about the math, and I would recommend you go dust off your calculator and figure out what would happen if your indicator was 65 or 70% correct while trading the overnight gap. Might get you a little excited about what the potential is, and I'll see you in the next video.